Today on Two Guys in a Ride, we're going to review the 2022 Volkswagen Taos. This is the SEL with 4Motion. I'll tell you about the horsepower, cargo, dimensions, and safety.
And I'll tell you about the interior, the controls, and all the technology.
But before we get started, take a minute, click that subscribe button down below.
And hit that bell notification up above so you never miss one of our videos.
That's right. So what do you say, Nate?
Let's go for a ride.
Today we're working with our friends at Mankato Volkswagen in beautiful Mankato, Minnesota. This is the 2022 Volkswagen Taos, and there are 3 trim levels available, starting with the S at $22,995. Then there is the SE at $27,245 and the SEL at $31,490. Now these are MSRP for the front wheel drive models, and of course you can get them all in with the available 4Motion from Volkswagen, which is all-wheel drive, and that'll run you about $2,045 more per trim level. This particular Taos is presented here in Pyrite Silver, and it has a French roast and black leather trimmed interior, and its MSRP is $36,004. Now it is powered by a cast aluminum 1.5 liter double overhead cam TSI engine, which is a 4-cylinder inline, and it has a compression ratio of 11.5 to 1 and max turbo boost of 25.9 PSI. And it produces 158 horsepower and 184 pound-foot of torque on 87 octane gasoline. Now, when talking about engines, the size of the engine or its displacement is often mentioned, but what exactly is displacement? Well, it is the volume of air that the engine consumes or pumps through itself every 2 revolutions. The volume of each cylinder is determined by the bore of the cylinder and the stroke. So the distance traveled by the piston is determined by the throw or the offset of each connecting rod journal on the crankshaft. Now, if the crank journal offset is 4 inches from dead center of the crank, well, then the piston will travel up and down 4 inches every revolution of the crankshaft. So engine displacement is simply a way of comparing engine sizes. More displacement means more horsepower and torque, because a larger engine is capable of pumping and burning more air-fuel mixture in its cylinders. Even so, there is no direct correlation between engine displacement and horsepower because, well, there are a lot of variables that affect how much power any engine of a given size will actually produce. You see, an engine's power output depends on its volumetric efficiency and thermal efficiency, as well as its horsepower and torque curves across its RPM range. Now I know that was super techy and a lot of information, but I'm sure it's something you always wanted to know, but were maybe just a little too intimidated to ask on your own. Now, back to the Taos. Well, it is driven by a 7-speed DSG automatic transmission with Tiptronic 4Motion. And of course, that is permanent all-wheel drive system. And it does have mode selectors as well. Now out front, these are automatic LED headlights with LED daytime running lights, and it does have the body colored front bumper. And I really do like this gloss black fascia rub strip just below that nice honeycomb Volkswagen pattern grille on the upper part and on the lower. And I do like the chrome strip that starts at the headlight and runs horizontal from side to side. And you see these are the daytime running lights here, and that does also have yet another chrome horizontal bar that dissects the middle of the upper grille and is framing the big VW logo as well. And of course, then the bottom chrome bar does run at the base of the headlights as well. It's a good look. You see there are big gaping air ducts at the lower sides of the bumper, and the lower grille is framed by nice metal looking frame that also doubles as a quasi splitter and diffuser. And I gotta say, these air ducts are actually functioning aero side curtains. Now I like how VW continued the grille pattern all the way under the air ducts, the outer air ducts as well. And then you see coming up top, it is a nice flat chiseled hood. And above that is an acoustic laminated windshield, and it does have rain detecting variable intermittent wipers and heated windshield washer nozzles. That's really cool, especially in colder climates like we have here in Minnesota. All right, taking a look along the side. Okay, these are 19-inch two-tone machine alloy wheels, and they are wrapped in 225/45 HR19 all-season tires. Now up front, the suspension is McPherson strut type and does have lower control arm, coil springs, telescopic dampers, or gas shocks if you will, and anti-roll bar. Now out back, the rear suspension is a multi-link setup, rear axle with coil springs, telescopic gas shocks, and anti-roll bar as well. It does have full-wheel ABS, and the brakes are power-assisted dual-circuit brakes, and they are 12.3-inch vented front disc and 10.7-inch solid rear disc. Now on this, it follows the trend of a lot of manufacturers with SUVs. I like the matte black wheel well and rocker panel trim. And then up top here, these are heated, power-operated side mirrors. However, they are manual folding. Now, they do have the body colored door handles, and it does have the lock unlock sensor. And I really do like this hard crisp line that is running from the front headlight bezel all the way to just above the top of the tail lights there as well. It does have chrome belt line with the black window trim, and up top you see the silver roof rack side rails, and there is a dual panel powered sunroof. Really sharp looking. I like the profile. We'll take a walk around back. Okay, it does have the body colored rear wind deflector, and you see the shark fin antenna up top. Now, this is a fixed heated rear window with intermittent wiper. However, again, I wish they would have figured out a way to tuck this wiper up underneath the deflector with the LED third brake light to make it a much cleaner look. I just think it would be a new trend and make this whole back end much cleaner. Now, this is a manual lift tailgate. Power tailgate's not available on any trim level of the Taos. Now, they do have full LED tail lights, and there is a rear-facing camera as well. And you see that the Taos name is down here along the bottom, which I kind of think is an interesting placement for it, because usually they're a little bit higher, but it does align nicely with the trim level and the 4Motion badge. So, you know, overall, it's a good look. I like it. You see it does have a body-colored rear bumper with the black rub strip fascia as well. Back here, it's a matte black, and it does carry over that same honeycomb pattern that we saw up on the front. And down below, there is a metal look rear skid plate diffuser, and it also does have parking sensors. Now, interesting, the rear bumper does house two chrome trimmed areas down at the bottom corners, and they're to suggest that they are the exhaust ports for the vehicle, which in actuality, the quasi-dual stainless steel exhaust is neatly tucked up under the bumper over on the driver's side. So still a good look though. Not functional, but still a good look. Taking a look inside at the cargo area, the second row seats include a ski, or if you will, a pogo stick pass-through, and they are split 60/40, and the rear seat release levers are placed up on the back of the seats and not in the cargo area. And it does have LED cargo lighting, and over on the driver's side there is a 12-volt charging port too. There are no cargo tie downs. Well, there's a couple of hooks right up here, but under the floor there is a compact steel spare tire, and there is some additional storage. And there's also the stereo subwoofer mounted in the middle of the compact spare tire, which I think is pretty smart. Now, cargo volume behind the front row with the second row seats folded is 60.2 cubic feet. Max cargo volume with the second row seats up, as you see it here, is 24.9 cubic feet. So, and it's a big, nice square area as well. With the second row seats folded, it's 66 inches from the front row as we have it adjusted to the rear sill. And the cargo floor length, as you see it here, with from the second row to the rear sill is 34 inches. Cargo width at the belt line is 41.5 inches, and internally, the most narrow point between the wheel houses is 40 inches. Now, the cargo opening height from ceiling to floor is 36 inches, and of course, getting something off the ground into the vehicle, which is the liftover height, that's 28.5 inches. Now, some of the safety systems on this 2022 Volkswagen Taos SEL it does have, as I said before, anti-lock brakes. It has the electronic brake pressure distribution and hydraulic brake assist. And it does have what Volkswagen is calling a crash optimized front end. So I imagine that's crumple zones and stuff like that. It also does have forward collision mitigation and autonomous emergency braking. I really do like that feature. Has electronic stability control, has anti-slip regulation, engine brake assist, lane departure warning and lane keeping assist. It has intelligent crash response system. As I mentioned a minute ago, it does have a rear view camera system, has blind spot monitor, rear traffic alert, and so very much more. Today's vehicles are just absolutely safe, and they have so much built into them. So next up, let's talk about the dimensions. Okay, the front track is 61.9 inches and the rear track is 60.8 inches. Maximum width, 72.5 inches. Overall length, 175.8 inches. Overall height, with the, I guess it's to the top of the antenna, is 64.6 inches. And it does ride on a wheelbase of 105.6 inches. Its minimum ground clearance is 6.6 inches. Okay, and it does have an approach angle of 17.7 degrees with a departure angle of 24.8 degrees and a breakover, or if you will, ramp angle of 18.5 degrees. Its overall curb weight, 3,430 pounds. It does have a max payload of 937 pounds. It has a turning circle of 37.6 feet and a fuel tank capacity of 14.5 gallons. So how safe is this new Taos? Well, neither IIHS nor National Highway Transportation Safety Administration have rated it, but I'm sure it's in queue. What about performance? 0 to 60, 8 seconds, standing quarter mile, 16 seconds, and a top speed of 120 miles an hour. However, those are the numbers, estimated numbers for the front wheel drive version. So what do I think about its appearance? Well, I think it's actually a 3/4 scale version of the Tiguan, which of course is a 3/4 scale version of the Atlas. And I like the styling, and I think that's a very good thing. And it's a very good looking vehicle. Warranty. New vehicle warranty is 4 years, 50,000 miles. Powertrain warranty, 4 years, 50,000 miles. And Volkswagen does offer complimentary maintenance for 2 years or 20,000 miles. Now, being a small SUV, it's the smallest one they have. What's the economy? 25 city, 32 highway, 28 combined, and it emits 6.3 tons of emissions for every 15,000 miles driven. All right, now let's take a look inside, but before we do, check out my notes in the description down below, and please take a minute, give us a like, leave a comment, and click on that subscribe button right over there. All right, Nate, what do you say? Take it away.
All right, stepping onto the interior, I do like the French rose color here, and I like the black leather combination, the Vienna leather seats. Okay, and we'll get to those in a little bit, but they're very nice. Now, back on the door here, you do have a little bit of storage in your grab handle right here. You do have extra storage down in here and a nice bottle holder as well. You have one of your 8 Beats speakers, you have one of your 8 speakers from your Beats system. And then up here, of course, you have auto up and down all 4 windows. You have your window lockout, and then of course you have your mirror controls as well as your heated mirror button. Up on the top, you've got your unlock and lock buttons. And then down here, you've got your fuel release switch. Now, the driver's seat is a 10-way power, including 2-way power lumbar. The passenger seat is an 8-way manual, and that does include manual lumbar as well. Okay, coming down here, we have your foot pedals, you've got your footrest, you've got your hood release right here. Coming on up, you do have auto lights and your switches right here. You got some of the nice French roast color here on the dashboard again. The steering wheel is a tilt and telescope that is manual, and that lever is right there. All right, let's step in and give it a start. All right, it is a push start. That is located down in the center console here. Okay, so up front here on the dashboard, we have the digital cockpit from VW. It's about a 12-inch screen. It's very nice. You do have, it's a combination analog digital temperature gauge and then a fuel gauge. So the increments are physical and stay there, and the gauge itself is the digital dashes. And then in between you have the digital dashboard, which is awesome, and we have a separate video coming out on that about how to control it, what's on there, as well as the infotainment screen. So coming back from the dashboard, on the left side of the steering wheel you have your cruise control buttons here. You have your lane keeping assist. One of the things that I like about this particular lane keeping assist is that if you're trying to switch lanes on the highway and the car senses someone in your blind spot, it will actually steer you, even though you have your indicator on, because usually the indicator cancels the lane assist, so your steering wheel doesn't keep you in the lane anymore. But the blind spot system kicks in, and if it senses a car and you're not seeing it, it will actually steer you away from the car and back into your lane. So I think that's really neat. All right, you got volume controls right here. And then over on the right side of the steering wheel, here's where we control the driver's information system up there. You've got a heated steering wheel button, voice command, and then on the you have a view button here, which just changes the view on the dashboard. Right here, you've got a skip forward, skip backwards for tracks for the media. All right, this does have automatic high beam and low beam headlights, and your light switch is over here. You also have a button on the left side of the turn signal stock that if you turn it on, this is all your safety systems here. So then you can scroll through and go through those. But I'll cover that in another video. I just want to point out that the button is at the end of the turn signal stock. Windshield wipers right here. And then moving over to the infotainment screen, this is an 8-inch screen. It's 400 watts, 8 speakers, and it's a Beats audio system. All right, so it does have Apple CarPlay, Android Auto. Both of those require a wired connection. And it has, of course, Sirius XM 360L with a limited subscription, which you would have to renew. And then it has Bluetooth and a 4G Wi-Fi LTE hotspot as available as well. Now, it does come with the VW Net app, and if you use that, then you have a bunch more things where you can do remote start, stop, you know, unlock your doors and so forth. But one of the things that you can do is hook that to Alexa, and then you can use Alexa to do those same functions on your car. Coming down below that, you have got your hazard button right here. You got your air vents. Kind of got that piano black trim going on, but I like it next to the French roast. And I don't think it'll get scratched up there like it does down here. Right down below that, you have a dual zone auto climate control with all your typical buttons. I will point out the seats are heated, okay, and they are ventilated, and it's kind of interesting. You can put them both on at the same time. I don't know, maybe it blows hot air after a while. All right, the other thing I really like is the physical sync button right here. And then, of course, you have the digital displays. But you can adjust the fan here and the temperatures here. Your max defrost, your rear window defrost, max AC and AC auto. And then, of course, if you click the menu button, then it comes up in the infotainment screen. But really, it's all the same controls that you have down here. So I like it that it's redundant. Down below that, you've got a wireless phone charger. and you have 2 USB ports. Now what's interesting here is it's all USB-C. There are no USB-A in the vehicle. So all USB-C, so if you have devices that use USB-Cs, you want to buy a little converter piece or simply a USB cable. Right next to that you have a 12-volt outlet. Right there. And then coming back from there, of course, you have a shifter in the middle, and it does have a sport mode, and you can bring it all the way down past drive, and then it's in sport. And then if you push it over to the right, then you can do sort of the Tiptronic shifting back and forth. Okay. You do have the auto start stop defeat button right here, and then your electronic parking brake right here. The rest of the buttons in here are dummy buttons. Okay, right down below that you have your mode selectors. So if I rotate it, we have snow, we have normal, we have off-road, and then we have off-road custom. All right, then the middle button here that says mode, if you click it, all right, then it just brings up a graphic on the screen, and you can click on the eye, and you can adjust the steering is sport, drivetrain is snow, adaptive cruise controls and comfort, that kind of stuff. You can just see what is. You can't change anything, but you can see what driving snow mode is. And in whatever mode you're in, if you push that button, you get the same thing. Okay, now right behind that you do have nice cup holders, 2 of them. The back one's slightly deeper, probably about an inch deeper. You've got a little storage tray just to the left of that. And for the under the armrest here, you've got a storage tray. It's very deep, but also kind of narrow. It does kind of go underneath the center console just a hair. You got a little spot that you can't really see, but there are no plugins or anything. I do kind of like it that they made a white interior. It makes it a little bit easier to see. And there's no latch or anything. You just pull it right up. All right, moving over to the glove compartment here. You got a dampened opening, and you got a nice large glove compartment right there. Up above, you have an automatic dimming rear view mirror. And then, of course, you have your light switch on both sides. This one will control whether the dome lights come on when the doors are open or not. This one turns on the rear lights. This one controls your panoramic sunroof. And of course, these are your safety buttons back here. Now, the visors on both sides are telescoping, and they have an LED light that is in the ceiling that opens up, or that comes on when you open up the mirror. And that's the same on both sides. All right, let's take a step into the second row. Okay, so on the second row, of course, you have bottle storage right here. You've got a little extra storage in the door here. You've got one of your 8 Beats audio system speakers. You have your window switch here, and then, of course, your grab handle, which you do have a little storage tray if you want to use that. All right, let's step in and see what's like on the inside. Okay, so I have the passenger seat adjusted so that I had almost as much room as I have here to the dashboard in the front. And I mean, very spacious. I mean, that's got to be close to 8 inches. So oodles of knee room. Also, foot room to put your feet underneath the seats. Probably one of the best I've seen as far as if you like sticking your feet underneath. This thing has got like 6 inches of clearance. As far as my head goes, even with the extra padding around the panoramic sunroof, I've got like 2 full inches of headroom. So really, really spacious. Now, the seats themselves don't adjust. You can fold them flat forward, but you can't tilt the back and you can't move the bottom part at all. So, you know, sitting back here, personally, I'd like to have a little bit more of a recline, so I wish they would put that in there, but they don't move other than to fold flat. Now, they do have a nice center armrest, which I like it when they're up like this and not right down at the seat, because your elbow is up here, not at the seat. And you got a couple cup holders right here. You do have a pass-through that you can open up. Hey, Rob talked about that earlier, but there it is. So if you need to grab something from the back, you can get that. In addition to that, of course, you've just got your lights up in the ceiling here, your grab handle, and a coat hanger hook. There are mat pockets in both seats right here, which I like when they do on both sides. And then you've got air vents that are under the seats, but you also have air vents that come through the center console. And then down here, I guess it's a little storage area, but there isn't. It has to be something pretty small to fit in there. And then you do have one USB-C port right here. Okay, next up, we're going to take it for a ride and see what we think. All right, so it's my turn. And you know, in terms of where everything is laid out, well, you know, your infotainment screen's right at, you know, within a hand's reach. You've got a plethora of controls on the steering wheel for your media and for your digital cockpit, which I really like. That is really neat. But you can reach everything really easily. I do like, you know, that it's like for your windows, it's just, you know, the regular 4 controls. There's nothing really weird or abnormal about the controls in here. They're all exactly where you expect them to be, and they do exactly what you would expect them to do, which is nice. In terms of getting in and out, well, we'll overlay a video here of me getting out, you know, in and out of the front and then in and out of the back, and you'll see what that is. But you know, it's a small SUV, so it's raised, which makes it easier to get in as the seats are higher up, so you're not sitting down and then having to climb back up again. In terms of just maneuvering around town, it's great. It's a nimble little SUV and handles really well, you know, on the side streets and in town. It's really nice. All right, up next, Robin's going to take it for a ride and give us his impressions.
All right, my turn in the new 2022 Volkswagen Taos. You know, I really do like the layout of the interior, and you know, I just took off. I'm on a city street, but overall interior sound and quietness, except for this extremely loud turn signal indicator. Wow. Everything else in the car is pretty quiet. Acceleration, I'm going to test that in just a minute, but right now, interior fit and finish, you know, it's put together well. A lot of hard plastics, some nice soft touch areas, but you know, door panels, dashboard, things are a little harder. One of the positives I'll give it is I don't see a lot of piano black. There is a little bit around the instrument cluster, and maybe a little bit around the center vents and the center infotainment system, but not a lot. And I don't think those are areas that are really going to see a lot of scratches. Anywhere else, it's all matte black, and I like that. It's a much better looking finish to it. Right now, I'm going to get on the highway, so we're going to go from a rolling start, and I'm going to punch it either way. All right, I'm going to merge on the highway here, so I am currently driving at about 55. I'm just going to punch it. Wow, okay, that was pretty good. So overall though, pretty nice car. It rides very well. It's quiet. We were just on the highway. I think it's definitely worth putting on your shopping list. Well, that's our review of the 2022 Volkswagen Taos SEL 4Motion, and we certainly appreciate you spending some time with us. Make sure to follow us on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and TikTok, and please click on that subscribe button down below. Thanks for watching.